Hey everyone, have you ever met somebody who speaks freely and casually and sets you at ease? And you may feel that some people have a knack for the art of conversation. Well, the reality is that some people are more natural at this than others. But as with lots of things that I talk about on this website, Medicine Revived, is that to learn, grow, and thrive in medicine, you have to practice. And practice is what we're talking about this week. We've all been there, meeting a stranger or professional colleague who is great, truly great at the skill of conversation. And you walk away feeling as you've known them for years, yet you had just met them. Well, this is what we're going to talk about this week, is how to have better conversations, because the art of conversation takes practice. Learn the skills needed in the art of conversation is not some mythical set of powers bestowed to select charming individuals. It takes practice and a few set of guidelines. And make this a priority, and you'll feel more confident at work and more engaged with new acquaintances and friends. There's actually a recent interview by UC Berkeley professor Dacher Keltner. He mentioned that the pandemic showed us how absolutely sacred our best relationships are, and how we now value those relationships more than before. So if you've ever wanted to have better conversations, take a listen to this week's show. There's no doubt that after more than a year of social distancing and life being put on hold, many of us were reminded of the importance of our closest relationships. Tony Robbins says that the way we communicate with ourselves, with others, and ourselves ultimately determines the quality of our lives. We have grown to truly appreciate the people in our lives, and because of that, we feel a greater need to nurture and to honor those closest to us. One way we can do this is by focusing on the value that we can bring to our relationships. We bring value by strengthening the skills that give our relationships meaning and allow us to create deeper and more profound connections. One way to do this is by learning to have better conversations. So the quality of our conversations is actually vital in maintaining our relationships. The way we listen, we engage, and we show curiosity and consideration can strengthen or actually weaken even our closest bonds. So we're going to talk about 5 ways today to strengthen our communication skills. Well, Brian Tracy, who's such a great mentor, says that communication is a skill that can learn. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can rapidly improve the quality of every part of your life. I couldn't agree more. So number 1, let's get started. Be present. When someone is talking to you, stop whatever you're doing at that moment and give him or her your full attention by leaning in and looking at them. If your gaze is focused on your phone or some scenery outside the window, that's telling someone that what you're looking at is more interesting than the person in front of you. Remove any distractions, like shutting off your monitor or putting your phone on silent, or even better, put the phone completely out of sight, or even in a different room. That's the kind of intensity we're talking about. In a 2013 study published in the journal Environment and Behavior, researchers found that the mere presence of a phone interfered with a person's attention and the way that person was perceived. Even if a participant was not looking at it, the phone became a barrier to connecting with others. After assessing for nonverbal cues and written statements from 200 people, researchers found that if either participant placed a mobile communication device on the table or held it in their hand during the course of a 10-minute conversation, the quality of the conversation was rated to be less fulfilling compared with conversations that took place in the absence of a mobile device. That's incredible. If you find that your mind seems to wander to the situation at work or the charting you still have to do, or you're too distracted or unable to be present, tell that. Tell that to the person. Communicate that with the other person so they know how you feel instead of having to guess. And plan to speak at a later time when you are in the right environment and the right frame of mind that will allow you to be fully present with that person. Number 2, friends, listen with intent. Truly listening attentively and with care is one of the simplest and most kind gifts we can give anyone. That's from John Brenna. For many, listening seems to be an effortless and passive endeavor where we sit back and nod while the other person speaks. However, listening with intention asks us to make an effort to not only hear what is being said, but to listen for understanding. Listening with intent asks that you entirely focus your attention on the other person rather than what you plan to say when the other person finishes speaking. Rather than quickly interrupting with your thoughts or your questions so that we are understood, listening with intent gives another person pause and space to reflect on their thoughts and feelings so we can both build a stronger connection and learn from one another. Number 3, lead with curiosity. Embrace the small talk, friends, for it's in the small talk that leads to substantial conversations and possibly lifelong friendships or professional relationships. And this has been true for me, and I hope it will be for you too. This is when it gets fun, especially when you are introverted, such as myself. The key is to have people talk about themselves. People love sharing stories, and if you give them a chance and ask the right questions, you'll be on your way to greater conversations. To have meaningful conversations, we need to approach each conversation with curiosity and treat those we engage with as if they're the most interesting thing in our lives. So approach others guided by the question, what can I learn from you today? Let that curiosity fuel passion for understanding others better and learning from them. And showing genuine interest in people strengthens our relationship and connects us to others and our future friends and acquaintances. Number 4, friends, ask better questions. In her TED Talk, journalist Celeste Headlee uses her experience as an interviewer and as a researcher from psychological studies that can show us that having conversations that leave us what she describes as engaged, inspired, and connected. She suggests taking a lesson from her interviewing skills and using open-ended questions rather than yes or no questions. Start with questions with words like who, what, where, when, or how to build a better understanding and a deeper connection. Instead of, are you upset? Ask, how are you feeling? This gives that person a chance to reflect and process their thoughts rather than provide a quick answer based on what you perceive to be true. Along with open-ended questions, strive to ask meaningful questions. So instead of the generic, well, how are you? We may ask questions such as, what is something that you're looking forward to this week? Or, how'd you spend most of your free time this week? Or how'd you spend most of your free time this weekend? These are the types of questions that we're talking about. And the 5th one, and actually maybe even the most important one, is to check your ego at the door. According to Celeste Headlee in her book, We Need to Talk, we have to have conversations that matter. The smarter you are, the worse you may be in the conversation. When you feel that you are smart, you may be less likely to listen to others and prefer to focus on sharing information and everything that you know to maintain that status quo. Headlee suggests that some of us may take this step further and what she describes as automatically rank people and decide where we are in the social pecking order. So we, somewhere in our brains, have ranked everyone in relation to us. So if our ego tells us that someone is of a lower rank than us, we may not listen to them or give them our full attention. So not only is this important to check our ego at the door and focus on the messages we hear without ranking their importance, is also essential that we realize that even the most knowledgeable people can benefit from improving their conversation skills. And it's actually the ones who are most knowledgeable, quite honestly, who do really well if they follow these guidelines. So I'm going to end this week with a quote from Oscar Wilde. Ultimately, the bond of all companionship, whether in marriage or in friendship, is conversation. By having more effective and meaningful conversations, we can strengthen our bonds with those who we care about. We offer value to others by listening and engaging with great care and consideration. So the value is actually twofold as conversations weave us together, connecting us and giving us the fulfillment that is so important to our health and our overall well-being. The only requirement for improvement in the art of conversation and small talk is to practice. Put yourself in social situations more frequently. Accept invitations to join groups and committees where you will get to interact with different people from different walks of life. Opportunities are everywhere, from the grocery store line to the next corporate meeting. If you are diligent about practicing, it will become second nature to you. So start today, friends. Use the things we talked about on today's show and begin your journey today. And if you've not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button just below, because I am here to help. My mission is to give you the courage and the tools needed to help you learn, grow, and prosper in the important areas of your life, personally and professionally. So if you're looking to get started, begin your journey toward wellness today. There's a link just below this video where I walk you through a series of free videos to get you through your first steps toward beginning this wonderful adventure, beginning with purpose and intent in the world of medicine. And we do this through rituals and with habits. And these videos will help you walk through it. These quick 3 videos I have put together just for you. They're available just for you. So click the link just below here and you can begin the success that you're looking for, not only at home, but at work too. All it takes is an intent and a mentor to walk with you. If you give me the first, I will give you the second. So let's get started. Until next time, friends, be good to yourself and each other. Have a great week. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.